Shohei Ohtani is arguably the best player in Major League Baseball and is a generational talent at both pitching and hitting, with no one in the modern era coming close. But one college player could challenge that in the future.
And here he is, the modern-day Shohei Ohtani in college. Jac Caglianone is his nickname.
Jac Caglianone was a Golden Spikes finalist as a sophomore, the college baseball equivalent of the Heisman Trophy, and could have won the award if it wasn't for the two-headed monster at LSU. He still won some silverware by getting the ABCA National Position Player of the Year, as well as being a consensus All-American. And this puts him in serious contention for being drafted first overall in next year's MLB draft. Standing at 6'5" and 245 pounds, he is a hulking figure that towers over most others, even as college players get progressively bigger each year. And his stats stand out as well. As a freshman, Caglianone had a major injury setback and needed to get Tommy John surgery. At that point, the coaching staff decided to redshirt him, meaning he would not play for the entire season. This could have been extremely detrimental since he was primarily recruited to be a pitcher, so to have the year off wouldn't allow him to progress as a player. But Caglianone took this as a blessing in disguise, because with all the time off from throwing, it allowed him to practice more on hitting and grinding in the weight room. The coaching staff must have seen something they liked, because halfway through the season, as the team was struggling with a 23-16 record, they decided to relinquish the redshirt status and put Caglianone in the game. And in his first start and just his third collegiate at-bat, he crushed this ball against the consensus #1 team in the nation.
It's playing with a lot of wind most nights. Here's a ball driven deep. Gilbert is going back, and it is gone!
In the limited opportunities Caglianone had as a freshman, he hit .288 with 7 home runs in a little over 100 at-bats. So even early on, he proved to the coaching staff that he had the potential as a hitter as well as a pitcher once his arm was healthy enough. And then came the 2023 season.
Swing and a bomb.
On in 0-1, and Caglianone pulls this one to right and to the track, and Joubert looks up and it's gone!
Jac Caglianone broke the single-season home run record with 33, which was previously set just the year before by Ivan Melendez at Texas. So the question of whether something has changed in the college game recently to allow such an upswing in home runs over the past few years is definitely at the front of people's minds. But that's for another video. Even so, what makes this accomplishment even more impressive for Caglianone was that he broke the record while also spending time on the mound as the third starting pitcher. Although he was not the most consistent, he had some shining moments, especially in early May 2023 when he had back-to-back amazing starts against ranked Vanderbilt and Kentucky, only giving up 1 run combined in 13 2/3 innings while also striking out 17. This shows the true potential of what Jac Caglianone could be. But for every good start he had, it seemed like there was an equally bad one to match it, including what is up to this point the most important game of his career, in the College World Series final against LSU, where the winner would become the national champions. In this game, he only went 1 1/3 inning and gave up 6 runs with 3 walks and 2 hit batters, putting the team in a very undesirable hole to start the game that they were not able to get out of, eventually leading to LSU winning the national championship.
There it is! And for the first time since 2009 and 7th overall, the Tigers can say, "We are champions."
So there is definitely room for improvement on that side of the ball. But Caglianone's talent is still hard to match, with a fastball reaching 99 miles per hour and some nasty off-speed pitches. This allowed him to strike out 87 batters in only 74 2/3 innings this past year. But the main issue that needs to be addressed is his command, since he had 55 walks last season. Way more than scouts would have liked to see from a player of that caliber. Luckily, there is a saving grace. Since Caglianone had Tommy John surgery his freshman year, this past season was essentially his first year competing in college as a pitcher. And if a freshman was a full-time starting pitcher for one of the best teams in the nation in the toughest baseball conference and had a 4.34 ERA, that player would be touted as one of the most promising prospects in the country. So while he has been inconsistent with command, this should reduce with experience. And he will have all the opportunity to display this as he is primed to be the Friday night starting pitcher for Florida next year, the spot for the ace of every pitching staff. So this will be the perfect time to tell if he can make that step up as a pitcher and convince scouts that he has the potential to be a two-way player in the pros. College baseball has seen a resurgence of top-level talent being two-way stars recently, but there still is a question about if it is smart to do so. As recently as Paul Skeens, we have seen an amazing two-way player decide to focus solely on pitching after transferring from Air Force to LSU last year. By no longer hitting, there was much more time to hone his craft. This led to him having one of the most dominant seasons on the mound in recent memories and got him drafted first overall after leading his team to the national championship. So there is merit for giving up one side of the ball if Caglianone were to do so, but his situation is a little different. As a proven elite hitter, if not the best in the nation coming into next year, he is somewhat limited by the fact that he plays first base, as not many first basemen get drafted near the top due to the lack of defensive flexibility. But if he is able to keep progressing as a pitcher, the upside would be undeniable, and might convince people he is worth being picked first overall. As one of the most exciting players in college baseball, there is no doubt that all eyes will be on Jac Caglianone for the 2024 season. And if he is able to reach his potential on both sides of the ball, the Shohei Ohtani comparisons would not be too far-fetched. What do you think? Will Jac Caglianone be the next Shohei Ohtani? Let us know in the comments below.